Yep.
Using your symbolisms, man, it's a conspiracy. Alright. Alright, let's get this hot mess on the road. Hello, friends, and welcome. It is your boy, Discount Walter White, bringing you the Blue Skies Mix. I have a wonderful little special here today. There is a video recording that you all listening can't see, so it does me no good to tell you all that, but I wanted to let you know, because I love you. Anyway, there's video recording of this wonderful hot mess that this will be, because the rails are already gone. It can't get derailed if you didn't put them down in the first place. We got video for this, so if you want to check that out, that'll be on YouTube. You'll be able to find it in Blue Skies Mix, the same thing. But for right now, this little this little episode of the Blue Skies Mix is Roundtable with Rex. Rex being Rex Robinson, local celebrity, fucking fine arts teacher, because I consider you art fine. But art teacher from our high school, you're welcome. From our high school, growing up, and by our, I mean Felicia and myself, because I'm using our actual names on this. That's how it's going to be.
Oh. You can use it.
So that's what it's going to be. I might go by your boy Discount Walter White, but you've already name dropped me as Tim a few times in the Ghost of Thor radio show episode. I was like, you fucking name dropped me. Nice. But, you know, you also called me crazy, so... Which I'm not against that. But
and I've name dropped your name like in every single recording we did.
Yeah, I had to go back. I don't know how many fucking times at this point, and just go back and just clip it a bit because she'd be like, "But Tim," I'm like, "Oh well, fucking." I would literally just hit the thing, and she'd be like, oh, "I did it again, didn't I?" I'm like, "Yeah, you did." But no, like it's not that I really truly give a shit. I just like the persona, like the Discount Walter White persona. So, or for shorter, your boy. That persona, that performer, if you will, that what is it? Dramatis persona. The character. Anyway, I liked it because, you know, it puts me in that mindset, whereas normally I'm just like this, fuck you, but haha guy, you know. Whereas with the Discount Walter White thing, you got something going there. But this is going long enough. Now, since I've already mentioned the Ghost of Thor radio show, Erich Stranger himself.
What's up, you miserable bastards? It's Erich Stranger from the Ghost of Thor radio show, the radio show with the sexiest audience.
Look at that.
Oh my goodness.
Free of charge, brought to you by the Blue Skies Mix. Now, in your last episode that you did, I believe it was the first one of this year that you recorded, you had Rex on.
Yes.
And Rex, that was fucking phenomenal. Like he nervously waved at the camera, like, "Hi guys, I'm Rex. If you couldn't tell, I'm Rex." We're here in your visual arts. We're here in the Visual Arts Center. Your studio is upstairs on floor 2. We are surrounded by your art. And if y'all would like to see something about that, there's a live stream on Facebook in the Eric's Circle of Artists Facebook page. Go check that out. All 2 of you listening who are already in that group anyway. Check that out. It's awesome.
It was a live stream. It's an hour long.
Yeah,
we did the entire studio and
the entire thing.
Almost.
We had
we did enough of the entire studio.
Okay.
Because there is so much shit in here, and there's a story to go with everything.
Oh yeah.
I love your art, I do, but I'm not gonna live that long, man.
Yeah.
The clock's ticking, man. You gotta fucking work with me. Oh man.
Yeah. Put the story on the back.
over an hour long, and you know, we talked to Rex about his paintings and the stories that went with them, and kind of about his technique and his style.
It's all phenomenal.
It was really informative.
Yeah,
I'm glad that we got the opportunity to do that. Thank you, Rex.
Yeah,
It was a great conversation.
Definitely glad it happened.
And it's the healthiest thing I've done in a long time.
Really?
You know,
oh, wow.
they have like 100 things that are the healthiest things you can do to prolong your life. And the top number 1 is social interaction, like we're doing.
Oh, good.
Like exercise is like number 10 or 20 or something.
That's fine. I don't do that anyway.
So, you know,
the social interaction is
just have some conversations.
Based on my social interactions on a daily basis, I'm going to live for fucking ever. Yeah. I'll stuck with me for the next 300 years. All right. Could you imagine me like 300 years old, but like barely older than this? And I'm just saltier than fucking ever.
I can't imagine that.
Sassier and saltier than ever.
When you say saltier than ever, then it sounds even more realistic.
Yeah, so. Like only if like with like how your hair is, like the darker on top, I'll have like a streak of white just going down my beard.
Yeah.
And I'll be sassier and shit. Sick of everyone's shit completely. Yeah. It'll be hilarious. We'll have a wonderful time with it. I'll get cookies. We'll all get drunk. It'll be great.
Yeah. I got these gray hairs at OHS.
I fucking believe it. I do. Speaking of OHS, let's get to the meat and potatoes of the show itself. What I wanted to start on. The fucking principal of that place of OHS, Owensboro High School. You didn't get to experience any of this, Mr. Stranger.
No, I was homeschooled.
Yeah. Count yourself fucking lucky. I actively would walk around that school. I'd be like, I hate everybody here. There are too many students. We need a school shooting. That's how much I fucking hated that place. The only thing that I liked.
Before school
Yeah,
shootings.
that all the time.
Oh, there was Columbine. I was like, we need like a better version of that with like grenades and thermite. Like, I was an angry fucking
We
kid.
were like outside, like what, once a month because bomb threats.
Yeah, well, it was probably more than that. Oh, God. Lungs, I love you. Throat, I do. But stop getting me all flimmy because fuck all of you. All right, there we go. There's a round for you. I live under all spite and happiness. That's how this works. So I'm going to live forever, and I'm going to hate it. But no, God, okay, the principal. Jesus Christ, that woman. I have never seen someone with a stick so far up their ass that you can see the leaves sticking out of their mouth. I've never seen that to that level. I've seen Karen videos all over fucking the internet. I've seen absolute bitches on the internet. I saw 3 today alone. But I ask about them everywhere I go. If I see an employee that looks like they've had a bad day or they might have had one at some point in the recent past, I ask, you have any good Karen stories? Because they're always fucking worth it when you get them. It's always good. And I try to use that to make people laugh, but I do what I can with it. But no, that bitch.
Good mission.
Yeah, we're going to call her Anita because I don't know how many people have the name Anita Burnett, but she's local.
We're going to use the name, knowing that
she goes to the shop we go to all the time, but I don't know how local she is, but I see that bitch every now and again. And I'm not trying to say that she was an incompetent person, but she was definitely emotionally inadequate. Let's say that. Oh, God. Corporate sinners have more realistic emotion than that woman. Like, it was bad. And I know that she tried to get you fired a lot, Rex. She tried real hard, didn't she?
Well, it seemed like there was a definite plan, because I was hired right before she came on as a principal. So, it seemed like there was
I got you got him before she did.
Exit of people that she didn't hire. But I had a good class. We did important things that unlocked a lot of life in kids, and I was always taught to be an artist, and a lot of art classes are projects, but I had an emphasis on the visual communication, on the universal language, and I think that gave the most visual generation a tool, because you were given the creative and the logical side, so that should be the core subject, especially in elementary school, to understand that, and then it can be followed through all the way into adulthood, of which no one is really prepared for with the system that we have, unless they have fantastic parents.
Fucking correct. Oh, good luck finding that. That's
Well, that's becoming more rare too. Yes.
Yeah, that's a dying breed if ever I've seen one. But when you stack the deck, you're guaranteed to fucking win something. Something you want, you're gonna get. Let's see. No, to circle back to Jen Psaki, circle back to that bitch. I have no respect for the woman whatsoever. I tried to treat her with respect. I tried to.
Yeah.
I could not get behind it. I didn't understand why people were so afraid of her. I mean, her name's Anita, and she's 4 foot tall. I'm not afraid of fucking Oompa Loompa. Like, I'm not afraid of her.
Okay.
I'll pick her up and put her on the bookshelf. Like,
Yeah.
I'm going to say a lot of shit that's going to be. I didn't know.
No, I'm just saying that she was in a position of fear. She had to project that power. But the fear behind her, in the whole failing of the system, and this is not just Kentucky or America. I think
It's pretty bad.
everyone is so afraid of being sued that the students now have the rule of the home as the center of their universe, and they got a backing by the parents that is against the system, whatever the student says, and then the system, not like it was when I was younger, it has changed to totally sacrifice the teacher in whatever situation that it is. It's the teacher is at fault, and you can everyone is at fault, but the fact that it is fueled by fear. It's like the whole pandemic. The whole world has fully been gripped by fear to such an extent that it is in confusion now.
Well, to me, it's a colossal shit show if ever I've seen one.
No, please say that.
I was going to say, you can step away, you're welcome to. Let's see.
Radio.
Someone came in, y'all are good.
Yeah.
It's, but no, let's see. What was I going to say?
I was talking about how everyone is fueled by fear so much that the real issues of that everyone is an original creation that has a purpose, that's not addressed in the educational system, and they're it's like still the old remains of trying to make people factory workers and totally submissive to the system.
The system is designed to create more parts for the system. That's all it's designed to do. That's all it wants to do. Because that's what makes it profit. That's what makes it money. It's what gives it control. And unfortunately for that, you have elements of the system that they might not present themselves as part of the system, like Rage Against the Machine, which you and I have talked about this, Stranger. Rage Against the Machine getting so far up their own ass into the system as to say, like, okay, well, you can't steal, like, you can't download our music illegally and stuff. Like, dude, you are part of the machine. Like, when you say we can't do these things that we do freely, you get upset about stuff that we used to, as a way to say, fuck that system that you've built because we hate it and it's corruption. You can't get upset about that shit whenever we do it, whenever you're called Rage Against the Machine. We're Rage Against the Machine, dude. Where you at? Like, you dropped the ball.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that they were working with the Biden administration, and I thought that was really funny. It's just like, fuck you, I'll do what you tell me.
Oh, God. Yeah. Oh, God. Oh, God, no. That was the whole hot mess that even is. All right. Let's circle back to a better thing than that topic.
So, when you were at OHS, well, how was Tim as a student?
I was actually going to bring. I was like, let's go back.
Oh,
to
really?
class.
Yeah, let's talk about Tim.
I wish we had some videos of that.
Yeah, no. I know. I've got plenty of stories, which you actually are one of the biggest inspirations. Like, part of the reason why I consider you such an important figure in my past, in my school life, is because of your class. Like, what happened in your class. Granted, for the first few weeks, I'd say, I was just as like, I wouldn't say I wasn't against Rex, but I was definitely against his students. I hated everybody, but I liked Rex. Rex was pretty chill. But I mean, you always were. You were always the sort of goofy, like, let's enjoy what the hell we're doing here instead of hating it constantly, the teacher. And that made a big difference to me. And I imagine it made a big difference to you too, Fee. So,
yeah. I mean, his class was like, it's probably one of my favorite classes because, I mean, art's always been a thing of mine. But I also had a little bit of an attitude. It was nothing against you, it's because we were going through a lot at our house at the same time.
Yeah, that was a shit
So
show.
to come to school and to see mostly how people treated your art, which was like spit wads and stuff like that, and then how they treated you as a person, and which always infuriated me.
Yeah. Well, before I started teaching, I started in the middle school, and this was after I did programs with the Arts Council for 15 years, but I resisted the middle school, and I had to have 3 near-death experiences, and I just had to relent and said, okay, God, I will do whatever, go wherever you want me to go. I'll even be a missionary in a foreign country where they don't just eat you alive, they nibble on you daily.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So,
it's a fucked up way to put that. Go ahead.
Wow.
Think about it. It is.
It is a mission because there are so many broken homes and there are so many broken people. And most of the people in my class were what they called special ed back then. Mm-hmm. And that taught me so much about how everyone has disabilities. I probably would have a whole string of letters after my name, and they wouldn't be good ones, but I think that is a part of the storms that people go through to make them healthier, stronger, and more focused on and appreciating life. So, like near-death experiences, I always come out of that with more gusto.
Well, actually, that was something that we weren't able to talk about on my show, but it seems like something that's important to you is the near-death experiences. I was wondering if you'd be willing to talk about those a little bit, like some of the near-death experiences you've had and the impact it's had on you.
Well, yeah, I've had lots of them. It's just sometimes there is a supernatural intervention that is a great compliment, and it is part of my transition from seeing God as distant and understanding that, not only does he knit us together in the womb and he's intimate with us before we, even come out into this world, but, he has so much in his intelligent design, in worth in every person, that was one of the things that helped me to endure whatever a student or anybody was going through in life, to not react to that, but to try to understand how are they acting, why are they acting that way,
Oh, fuck, I got a sneeze coming on.
All right.
All right. It went away. Thank God. I fucking hate this.
Just talk about it. It'll go away.
Yeah, no, like you got that. You
it's
got
like bad
down.
things you got down inside.
You started to wind down, and my body was like, oh, he's winding down. Okay, no, kill the sneeze. There we go. Yeah, no. He technically, we didn't actually answer your question about me in class. You got nothing out of that.
Oh,
which I thought that was
how
funny.
was him in class?
That deflection was fucking perfect.
Yes.
But no, that does go back to though, your class was the first real class, the first real point in my life that I ever was given actual absolute control of what I did with it.
Ooh.
And it didn't happen until I literally ignored you during a lesson one day. You were doing some shit. You had given us some lesson or whatever, some cookie cutter curriculum bullshit. And that's what it was. I mean, it's what it was. It's what it was to me. Okay. It's one of those things where whenever you sit me down and say, do it, it's now my perspective was, which that goes back to the actual, whenever we did live stream, the whole perspective changing thing. Yeah. This is that moment whenever I changed my perspective on it. Because you had told us in class that art was something that you felt. Like whenever you paint, you should feel it. Yeah. You should feel the expression. You want to express it, so you got to feel it. So my whole thing was, I don't feel any of this shit. I hate this. The only time I'm happy is whenever I ignore you. That's feeling. Well, that's the thing. That's what I'm saying. It's the only time that I'm happy and I'm feeling what I'm doing is whenever I completely ignore the teacher. Yeah. And this went for every class. Whenever I ignore the teacher and do what it is that I want to do following the subject. Yeah. The subject was art. Creation via art. So I was like, all right, well, whenever I would just jack his calligraphy pens, or the quill pens, whenever I could use it to get the ink cartridges and the ink wells and all that shit, I would just take that shit and I would start to do whatever I wanted with it. That's actually why I love calligraphy pens now too. So thanks for that.
You can punch him now if you want.
You can shut the hell up. You can walk home. No, I'm kidding. Just at the mic.
I do remember though, since we are brother and sister, I do remember you coming home and saying those exact words. You had to completely ignore him and do you for a second. Yeah, and I do remember that.
That's whenever I was most expressive and most creative. It was whenever I ignored the curriculum and did what my creativity wanted me to do. My inspiration was all right, well, I'm not going to sit here and just do this. We're all doing this by the numbers shit. Screw that. I'm going to get up and I'm going to wander around the classroom. And that's what I did. I would do that. And
That was a good thing to do.
So many students got upset because they were having to do the work, and I said, fuck that. I went to the back of the class, and you had all these, what is it? The palettes and stuff with the different paints that your previous classes had used and just left to dry there, like for you to clean up, and you didn't have time for it. Yeah, no, that's exactly what it was. I ignored the lessons and went straight back there. I was like, I even said out loud, I was like, Rex, you got a bunch of slobs back here in these classes. I hate your other students.
Yes.
I was like, do they not know how to clean up after themselves? Like, their parents don't beat. I specifically remember this. I do.
Spare the rods.
I specifically remember this. Like, they obviously don't get beaten enough.
Yeah.
Keep in mind, I also, I was the school shooting advocate. I didn't want to do it, but I wanted to see someone else do it. I hated that school so much. The only thing that I enjoyed in the entirety of going there was your class. I hated everything else.
I had a lot of students that were thrown out of school, like they were nothing. And
I'm not remotely surprised by that, especially with who was running that thing.
It was amazing that the guidance counselors would always more than max me out, and they would apologize. We're not trying to dump on you, and I would say, send them. I'll take them, because I wanted people to have an opportunity to grow on the creative side. And a lot of us repress that from early on, the system and different things. And one of my interesting facts that helps to commit me is that the number one most common factor of people in prison is that they suffer from repressed creativity. So it damages people it's like it's damaging not to be positive. And so when a student is walking around with that kind of hate, then there is a therapeutic way to express that, and it can be beautiful in that it's pure expression. It's sincere. It's not contrived. It's not illustrated. And to get positive, medium, and negative emotions was one of the first projects that I did in every class, because to me it was a breakthrough. It was a breakthrough to me to understand that and then to share that with everybody I could.
Well, no, like I had friends that were in your class and they said, like we talked before, they were going through a lot, and they just had where teachers didn't really like them, and they just really didn't have a place they could go and relate to and
it seems like
get everything out.
Yeah.
And they told me, they said, Rex is the only class I want to go to, and because I get to express myself, and they just liked your personality. They didn't belong anywhere else. Is what they felt like.
Well,
and you accepted
that's really how it felt, though. That's really how it felt. Now, going to OHS, that's why I say consider yourself lucky you were homeschooled. Because
I do.
Because that bullshit, that another brick in the wall bullshit, I hated that so much.
Teacher.
Yeah. Leave those kids alone.
Yeah.
That song is
let
gospel.
them create.
Yeah. Let them
express them.
That's what they try to do. They try to put you into a box that fits their mold, so you're just another brick in their stupid wall. Yeah. And that unbelievably and unequivocally destroyed any desire that I had whatsoever to learn, too. Mm-hmm. That's why whenever I just did whatever the fuck I wanted in your class, that's whenever I created art. And for me, it was splatter art. Also, that canvas paper was great. Yeah. Like the canvas paper was great too. And getting to use that fucking cutter thing was
yeah.
I always joked. I was like, I could just pop this thing off there, and that was the morbidity in me. But no, it was getting to create the splatter art is what got me interested in using paint.
Wow.
Because you had all that fuck ton of acrylic back there, and because of that, I got to experiment with paint and see what I liked instead of what it was I was told to do.
That's amazing.
Well,
it made a big difference.
I remember. I had your class, and then I was in another class right beside your class, and I remember seeing people come outside and just doing this spray paint art and all this stuff. And I got to talking to them, and they said that it was extra credit or something like that, and it was a way for them to also get out of other classes because they didn't get along with those teachers. And those teachers, they said, were giving them bad grades and stuff, and they were trying to listen, but they couldn't focus because art made them focus a little bit more. And and it brought out, everything inside them.
It made a difference.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it should be a core subject, because you can get every subject in it. And I was, as a developing artist, I was more interested in life and in nature and in, those things until the middle school, when it started becoming scientifically more technical. And I wasn't interested in that much information. I was interested in the image of it, in expressing about that. And then, to be able to, put it together into a story, pictures 1,000 words is true. You can just show them an image of what you're, doing, and it was, that was a great connection that I got to have with students in that I could understand what they were doing. They may not be doing the assignment,
Look at me and gesture at me.
But my formula,
I feel saint.
and I tested it many times, was, I grade you on your effort.
Yeah.
On your sincere effort.
That's why I passed a class of
You
flying
can have an A, just by working hard and trying. And it's like we're the theme was art students forever. So I'm still an art student. How am I going to limit myself by thinking I know it all, or I'm open to learning every day.
Yeah.
So, and in a workshop situation like we had, and I have told students, get up and wander around and see how many interpretations these are. And I would pull some up occasionally, embarrass people. But I would say, this is another definition of what we're trying, and it's real.
Everybody got upset whenever you do that to them.
Ha!
They'd talk shit as a group. It was hilarious. They would just tease you.
I do want to tell you something. I did have a lot of your students that I talked to just be like, he's probably the best teacher here, and I'm not even saying
hands
anything
down.
like that. Yeah, there was a lot of people, like a lot of students that you had that stood up for you.
Yeah,
Hands down.
Whenever I posted, for those listening, I did a TikTok earlier of Rex's studio, and whenever I posted that, there was somebody in the comments almost instantly. It was like, I took a class from Rex.
I see them out all the time. I get a hug, and it's wonderful to get that kind of feedback and love, because part of my education as a teacher, my parents were teachers, and I was in the education system and started teaching art in second grade, and we were talking, and Erich, the Thor, program, the Ghost of Thor. That's such a great name.
Thanks, man.
That's awesome.
You need a little echo there. The Ghost of Thor.
Thor. Yeah, that'd be fucking cool.
Yeah.
I definitely know. Like that's a fucking great expressive name too. Like, and it conveys this it's in and of itself. There's a story there, which there literally is a story there. But it's which if you can, listen, you got time to tell it. I mean, I know it's a quick story, but
what part of the story? Because it's got different.
One more what inspired the name the Ghost of Thor?
I used to have an account that was called Aaron Brown, and then people started calling me Thor because of my hair, and then it became Aaron Thor Brown, and then Mark Zuckerberg killed that guy, and so I made another account that was called Thor Aaron Brown, and that's how most people knew me during that time period. And that's about when I was starting to look into podcasting and everything. And then Mark Zuckerberg killed that account.
Jesus.
And so...
weren't you dating that one?
Yeah. That was great.
He put himself as in a relationship with his own account.
No, it was even better than that. Like, I went to the spot and I got that huge mirror and I took a picture of myself. When I posted it, was like, Bay over here looking so handsome.
You gotta love yourself.
But so when
you're stuck with you for your life, you might as well enjoy it.
When Mark Zuckerberg killed that show, then I was like, well, I'll be damned if Mark Zuckerberg's going to shut me up. So it became the Ghost of Thor radio show. The radio show with the sexiest audience.
And that's one thing. I love that. It's one thing that I knew though, like for fucking ever, like 2015, 2016, 2017. Whenever I actually first met you, and I was busy brain fucking you with conspiracy stuff by the fire. Like literally, he would sit there and I would just blow his fucking mind. Like just with conspiracy stuff for hours at a time. He would require an alcoholic drink of some kind. Whatever we had in the fridge that we weren't drinking, he would drink, which was great, by the way. I appreciate that. Clean out that alcohol drawer nobody wanted.
Can't do that anymore. You always have the red apple stuff or whatever.
It was the Reds. Yeah, we actually got into where like they stopped buying their garbage, and it just wound up being we just had excess Reds. But no, like it was. That's whenever that was all going on, I was like, I feel like he's got a lot more potential than just sitting with me by a campfire on my back porch, by the way, literally like 4 feet from the house. It was a brick house. What do I care? That was a rental. But no, like it was one of those things where I was like, he's got more potential than this. So I want to explore that because you had the personality to fit it. And now you actually are like, the seeds were planted. I just wanted to water that shit and see if it would grow. And eventually it did. And now here you are, host of the Ghost of Thor radio show.
Radio show with the
sexiest audience. Yes, I was going to get to that. I was going to draw it out. I was like, the radio show with the sexiest audience. And
it is true.
And now here, you've got people recognize you. They know you. And not as much as people know Rex. But Rex also taught thousands of fucking little hoodlums. And that's what we are. We were a bunch of little shits. And I loved that. It was great. It was my favorite time of my life. It's the only time of my life that I remember that I didn't fucking hate was whenever I was in your class. But it was one of those things where you're recognized now. And
I told this off the air to you earlier, but the other day I went to the bar, and it's a bar that I don't usually go to, and I went with my friends who are regulars there. And then the lady at the end of the bar, she was drunk and she was talking and she was like, oh yeah, this is this guy and I can't remember this girl's name. Oh, and that's Eric. I see his stuff on Facebook all the time. I know what his name is.
I love that. And I love that she was drunk. Like, it helps, right?
I knew him.
Yeah. Drunk and still knew who you were. Mm-hmm. Like that's like, granted, at any point in time, if I could have been Four Loko off my ass, and you could have asked me, "Do you know Rex?" I'd be like, "Fuck yeah, I love Rex!" Like it's you don't forget those that you love. It's fucking great, and it's that level of interaction is something that people need, in my opinion. Yeah. You need that kind of interaction with someone that you can be like, "Oh, dude, that's so and so. I know them." Like that makes a huge difference. Mm-hmm. Like with whenever we mentioned it during the live stream at the beginning of the live stream, like whenever we would come by and I saw you outside putting that whole fucking front slope together, which I was standing on that out there, by the way. That angle is steep, man. I'm glad you were an art teacher because physics would be your strong suit.
Pull every shovelful, climb up on the truck and get every shovelful of concrete down.
That's hardcore.
And it was stiffening by the time I was trying to shape it.
Fuck that noise.
Yeah.
I gotta dip out. My ride is on the way.
I was gonna say, at any point, if your ride is here or it gets here, if you have to leave, go ahead. I'm going to literally, those of you listening at home, those of you watching, this is all going to be one solid recording. I don't want to if we're good to not take breaks, I don't want to get it done, and I will edit it in post, which they'll hear it, that, hey, we're going to take a break, and then I'm going to get songs from y'all for the breaks, just a few songs.
Which I was going to say, if you need one from me, work from Jars of Clay, I'll send it to you.
I was going to say, send it to me, and I'll throw it in there, I'll spice it in.
Let me give a little final note. Before I head out, Rex, love hanging out with you.
Thank you.
Love hearing about your stories. Thank you for coming on my show. Thank you for letting us do the live stream.
Yeah.
Love your artwork, and I appreciate everything that you're doing. And you guys have a great show. Talk about all of the crazy stuff that happened over to us.
I was going to say, all the stuff that you're going to want to hear is going to be after you leave. So, because you have direction. I am chaos in the wind. Let's fucking have fun with it. I'm here to laugh, damn it, and life is already miserable enough.
And if you're listening and you haven't checked out the Ghost of Thor radio show, you should do so on Spotify.
Oh yeah, he's over here. Fucking love that.
But I do got to bounce. But love all of you guys. And
Thank you. Appreciate you.
Sick.
Triple.
Definitely. There you go.
I like
Just
that.
You want to fist bump 2 weeks? Yeah, there you go.
I got that from Books a Million when they were closing down.
I love it.
They were like,
it's
it's 30% off. And I was like, I don't know if I want to spend the money. So I walked outside and I tried to get a hold of my brother, and he wouldn't answer the phone or anything. And I was like, well, I guess I'm just going to have to buy it then. Because I was going to ask his permission, because he would have given me permission. But so I walked back in there, And I was like, yeah, I'm thinking about getting it. And they're like, well, it's 40% now.
Oh.
And I was like, okay, well, yeah, I'm definitely going to get it
Yeah,
now.
I can't do that. Yeah, it's,
Half off.
Yes.
pretty good
Bye.
stuff. See you, man. All right. I'm gonna
Okay.
rearrange the mic real quick.
Let me flash back to that last thing we were talking about because.
Or do you need something?
Oh, I was gonna say something. No, I can't remember because I got cut.
Oh.
No,
You're good.
it happens. Tim knows.
Well, if you remember, interject and say it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cut motherfuckers off. All right. That's the way that I'm going to see it. All right. Say something for me, Rex. I'm monitoring the audio levels here.
Oh, we're okay.
And
We're monitoring.
You say something as well, because I put the mic where he was sitting. So
Sound test.
it's not too bad. It's picking us up a little bit better. But Rex and I tend to project more.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
All
Let's
right.
see.
So what I was about to say was, I had the benefit of good teachers.
Fucking cool.
So that example raises you up, but it was also
I feel so
kind of
naked now in the video without him over there.
I scoot this way just a little
Yeah,
bit.
you got it.
You sit in the middle.
Yeah,
Honestly.
there we go.
I was gonna say with how well you project,
Yes.
you could put that thing to the back.
Lean into it.
Yeah, I was gonna say I could put the back of that thing, dude. You would
But-
still overpower it.
It was kind of a corny saying back then.
I like corn.
More now, I would say, but it's so true, and that was that if a student can tell if you care about them or not, and if they don't think you care about them, they don't care about what you're trying to teach them.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, and
That's very
I
true.
finally remember. But what I was gonna say is that's the reason why a lot of people liked you is because you were easy to talk to. Like you somehow you understood. Like I know I've said it before,
Been
but
there.
that was like one
Yeah.
of the that was like one of the major things because you know how hard it is to be a student and find a teacher you can relate with.
Yeah,
And
like it makes
it is, and I know you don't believe it, but it's
Well,
hard to be able to like to be like there and to be able to find somebody because me and Tim, like I said, we were going through a lot at home. Like our parents split up, divorced, and all that, all of that. And I mean, we sometimes weren't even treated the best. And
Mm-hmm.
Oh
to
yeah.
come to school and to get able to let all of that emotion out into something,
Yes.
and also have somebody, understand it was a big thing. And I remember talking to one girl, like I saw her outside and she was spray painting, and I was like, oh my gosh, she's really good. And I remember who it was, and I was like, how do y'all get into doing this? Because I want to do something like that. And they said, all you gotta do is just talk to Rex.
Yeah, no, like it was. That's the thing. It's like it was. To go back to me ignoring your lessons, going straight to the back of the class. It was. That's part of what got me to be like, okay, well, this is what I want to do. I love doing this. So Rex is awesome. He's letting me do this. I'm getting an A. I'm cool with that. For someone who is not doing the work but putting in work, I fucking loved it.
Right.
But it was something where you let me create something. So because of that, I was always like, oh, I fucking love Rex's class. I can't wait to go back. Like it was something where you didn't see the problems. You just saw the creation, the creative, the inspired creator that these students were.
Right.
You saw that. You didn't see the bullshit that we had to deal with in the sense of like you didn't boil us down to that. You didn't boil us down to the bad. You were like, okay, well, let it out. Get this stuff out, man. Express this stuff. Paint. Let's do something here. Draw, whatever. Pick your medium and let's fucking go. Like you didn't say it like that, but I so badly. You said, "Well, I swear," so much.
I swear.
I made it my mission to try and get you to actually swear.
About to make a T-shirt.
Yeah. Oh my god. I would totally love to sell that shirt to you.
Well, I've been reprimanded so many times over that, and a lot of times even students would say, "Now, Rex, you're not supposed to swear." And I would say, "It says in the Bible, God swears by Himself." But the swearing thing is a commitment. I swear, I will find my glasses if I'm looking for them. I swear, I will make something out of this mess that I started with. And sometimes the best way to do that is to start over.
Yeah.
But you learn something from that mistake.
Yeah.
Yes, always.
Yeah, no, that. Well, to bring up Dylan again, Purple Paint Man.
Yeah.
He and I firmly agree that That's your way of saying curse words without cursing. Like, that's your way to get it out without saying, like, well, fuck. You know, instead of doing that, you go, well, I swear. You know, something like that. Like, it was a way of saying it with, like, getting something out without using the colorful language we did.
Right.
You keep your color to paint, not with words like that. Whereas ours are just smeared across the board.
Yeah.
Mine especially are just smeared across the board like a monkey playing with shit. It's horrible.
Yes.
It's everywhere.
Yeah.
Well, it was all about my, you know, it was like my life is extreme. It always has been.
Yeah,
I've always had a lot of extreme abuse and, you know, really hard things. And then, you know, to then, you know, have more to express with, more to understand and sympathize with other people going through that kind of thing too. So, you know, that all the arts is about experience in life, and then, you know, letting that experience come through you and out in a unique and original way. So that's incredibly massive and powerful. And then on the other side of that is that, you know, one of the things that made the class so difficult to do was how challenged everyone was and how defeated that they came in the room, you know, as believing so many myths that they're not an artist. And I've had people, you know, in my face, maybe Tim did that once, you know,
No.
you know, I'm not an artist and you can't make me,
So you can
you know,
try to
kind of
say that.
attitude,
You can try to
know,
say that.
which is, you know, but if you could do something, then you're an art student, so you're learning. So
Yeah.
and we're all lifetime learners.
Yeah.
That's why I say there's no way in hell it was me that would have said that. I'm not an artist and you can't make me into one.
Yeah,
I was constantly drawing shit.
Okay.
I always would draw stuff.
Right.
I love to draw. And to me, like, to draw and to write, and that's part of what I enjoyed doing in your class before I started to play with paint, was I would draw.
Yeah, and I mean, I've seen people go in there and be like, I can't do anything, like stick figures or anything.
You can't make me.
Yeah. Well, no, not that I can't make me. It's the shock what they can, you know, make.
Whenever they
without listening to
actually,
you.
whenever they actually sit down with someone who is saying, "Well, you can do that," someone who tells them they can versus someone who tells them they can't.
Yeah.
Right.
Like
That
everybody,
right there.
people want to tell you that you can't do something because they can't fucking do it immediately like that, instantly, and it makes them feel bad. People expect themselves to either be amazing at something out the gate or ass out of the gate, and most people expect themselves to be ass out of the gate because everybody tells them they can't. Because those people that say that they can't immediately be amazing.
Yes.
And that's where society has failed us in that regard as well, because you're either immediately going to pass or you're immediately going to fail. There's no in between. There's no progress to get better. And that's the way society treats it. And to me, that's horseshit. It takes time, to use the horseshit, it takes time to create the shit, so you might as well get there eventually. Find a way to get there and you will create something.
Yeah.
Even if it is horseshit yourself, you will create something, damn it, be proud. Like, and use that as a kickoff point to go farther, to create more, something better. So don't count yourself as being absolutely done, because you will always improve if you keep trying, keep working, keep getting better over time.
Yes.
And like I've had people that have been into all kinds of different art and different mediums, like you with paint. And she's not going to hear this, but Charlotte, someone who I consider like a little sister to me, she lives on the complete opposite end of the country. She's been a long distance friend always, but she's one that, you know, I could pick up the phone and send her a message and it's no problem whatsoever. But she does digital art. She paints on tablets and stuff like that.
Right.
And she's fantastic. She's great. I have watched her over the years get better and better and better. And that was something that meant a lot to her, because she's like, I've always shown you my art. And you've always been one. You're someone who has seen me go from what I considered terrible to what I am now.
Yes.
And you always encouraged me and always said it was amazing. And to me, that's the biggest thing, because what you might not view as being amazing or inspiring, someone else is looking at that and saying, "I can't wait to be that good."
Yeah.
And what you consider to be the better thing, I can't wait to be that good. I'm not that good. I can't get. You can. You're working your way there.
Right.
Keep moving forward, and you'll get there.
Yeah.
That's
Whatever you want to do.
Same with
You know, you got the example. And then what you're saying is, you know, you get the encouragement, and you start to accept that kind of confidence, and
It gets you
like,
somewhere.
yeah, even if you learn them from mistakes, and then to be able to practice it, then you're on your own identity.
Yeah, and I like another thing, like people talking about how, you know, when you do criticism, you're actually like really nice about it and stuff, because I think you used to tell us that like everything's art. Like anything that you can create is art.
Yeah.
Yeah. Something like that.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it was
And,
so long as you're
yeah.
making something. You know, if
You're
you
really
anything that you
positive.
anything that you make
Yes.
is going to be going to
It's
be
art.
art.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just
And-
you've got to make it.
Right.
Like you can't sit there and expect it to fall into your lap. And
Yeah.
those that do, it's not
Exactly.
worth doing
Right.
that. So
Yeah.
which that's that's just a personal thing. If easy come easy go for a reason.
It was
You know,
also like, I
it makes
mean,
a
there were
difference.
people who were really negative to you, and you were still really nice.
Yeah, you took
Really
a lot of
nice.
shit from people in school, and that pissed me
All
off.
those us,
Yeah,
you know,
you-
I've always been kind of used to that. But
Yeah, but you caught all kinds of hell from students, and I'd be like, "The hell's wrong with you?"
He was funny
Yeah.
too, because sometimes I give him a little attitude, and he just
Oh,
kind
yeah.
of make a joke about it.
Yeah.
And I was just like, "Be mad or something."
Right.
Just-
If we weren't giving you
No,
sass,
it
it'd be
was,
great.
though.
Yeah.
But
well, it's like you were saying, you know, there for every negative lion myth, such as I can only draw stick figures. You know, well, that's how I start. I start with the stick figure to, you know, get the movement, and then I build on that. I just put the basic shape on top of that. Or I can't
So
draw
now
a straight line.
Now I
Well,
want to draw.
great, because a straight line is boring. You
Yeah.
know, draw an interesting
Absolutely.
line.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Put something on.
and that's what made me see. You know, I was like, so was it cliche? Is that the word?
Cliche?
About, I always thought like it always had to be like a picture, like a portrait of somebody or something that was really
It'd be something
detailed.
special and amazing.
But I
No,
kind of found out it didn't have to be like that. It can be anything.
I did a
Because art's all different
multi-panel.
forms.
I did a comic that I made myself back in the day for fun with pens with different colored ink
Yeah.
for shits and giggles. It was literally stick figures. It was multi-paneled, and it was just random crazy shit going on with the stick figures.
Right.
Like we're talking like I had a stick figure literally like you're gonna love this and you're gonna think this is crazy at the same time. I had a scene with stick figures like their whole thing was it was two stick figures and they went around and they punished bad guys, but they did it in a way that it made them bad guys too. Like they beat bad guys with at their own game with their own rules.
Yes.
And
With sticks.
yeah, and it was
That'd
stick
be the
figures. It was
That sounds like a great cartoon.
yeah. There's all kinds of shit. But no, like it was a thing where like in one of the scenes I used the idea of perspective to literally like to finish a story, so to speak. Because each page, each set of panels was one whole story of a day, basically. One major event at some point in time.
Right.
There was no timeline, it was just shit that happened. And in this one, it was a guy had been strapped to the wall, his arm was severed, and this was all stick figure shit. One of his arms was severed, it was hanging by the wrist, because it had been bound like that. The other arm was flailing. And he's like, oh, and he's screaming and shit, and he's bound up on the wall, and I forget what he had done. It's probably something about touching kids, and like, because I've always been unbelievably protective, and I've always been like, I will fucking destroy you.
Yes.
So the way that they end this dude is he's on the wall screaming, and the perspective is it's showing in his eye.
Yeah.
It's a reflection in his eye
Ooh.
of what has happened to him.
Oh.
And what has happened to him is
Wow.
that they had stuck one of them had stuck their arm in his chest, like ripped a hole in his chest, grabbed his heart, and was holding it outside of his mouth.
I
And it
had
was
that
all
dream.
done. That's nice. That's fucked up. But like,
Whole series of dreams like that. Yeah.
well, I mean, I've had dreams where I've done it to people.
Yeah.
Something similar. But it's been, it was literally from the viewpoint, the perspective was, it was his eye as it's happening to him. The reflection in his eye of what's
Right.
happening. Like
Yes.
if they were looking in his
Yes.
eye.
Yes.
And the full face of like them holding the heart, their face smiling in his face. And it was all done in the reflection of the eye. The panel itself
Wow.
it was in was done as the eye, if you looked in his eye and saw the reflection. Including with lighting. Like everything, it was. I was like, Rex would have been proud of this, but like it was
Yes.
really gory. It was horribly gory just for basic art with stick figures.
Right.
But it was something to where just doing that level of detail and perspective, I was like, if all I can do is stick figures, then
Right.
damn it, I'm doing stick figures.
Yeah.
And I did. I didn't let that stop me from creating something that I enjoyed.
Right.
And like it was, I don't know, I only did a few pages of that, but it was just a lot of shit like that. But it was a way to create and to inspire myself.
But that's a neat thing about, being challenged. Once you start getting over some of those hurdles, and you start getting a little bit more comfortable, then you do surprise yourself with, what is possible, because you're continuing to grow into it.
I mean, that's where a lot of people sort of just give up, though. It's like they think, oh, well, if I want to do this, like people could come in here and look at your paintings, be like, I want to be like that. And because they can't immediately do it, they give up.
Yeah.
You can't give up.
There's probably 3 or 4 steps to get there.
I mean, there's at least a handful or so.
A little bit.
It depends on where you're at and where you're starting from, but you could be a handful. But like, I can guarantee, though you're amazing at art, you didn't pop out of the womb immediately painting that shit there. Something that beautiful or like that. You didn't like this.
I don't
didn't
have
pop out of
any
the.
of them, no.
I was gonna say you didn't pop out of the womb doing this. You weren't on the table. Doc freshly slapped your ass, and you weren't in the middle of doing this. And Doc, can you be a little more gentle? I'm trying to. You fucked up my line work, Doc. Like you can't. It took time.
Yeah.
What I really loved about your class was that you let us listen to music.
Oh, that too. Oh my God, yes. It
was just like
that's.
You're like,
I
the
would
principal
complain
won't
about
let you do this, but I will, and you can listen to your music.
I complained
As long as
about your
you still
music,
hear
but
me.
I enjoyed it. So,
I introduced bluegrass into the class,
You
and
did.
it was not well received to begin with, but I'm saying, this is part of your heritage. It came from your mother countries, and it came
Rex,
right here to this county.
We were young, we didn't give a shit, but you're right though.
Yeah.
I'm trying to stretch because, like, actually, you've got the perfect chair for this. Go ahead. I got a pot in my back.
Oh,
that ain't gonna happen too well.
I can't talk about
Or
it.
it's too the seat's too high. I'm good. All right, I'm not gonna slip the disc on this. I'm on 30. It's possible.
Yeah.
It can happen. Yeah, I need my life alert, y'all. I just turned 30. Where's that life alert at? Help! I'm falling and I can't get up. Yeah, you say that every day. And you can't get it up. That's the problem.
But I loved how we could listen to music in your class.
Yeah, no, that was great.
It was really nice.
Yeah, that made a huge difference too. That was the other reason.
What was the Taylor Swift song? That was the most popular at the
God.
time. Oh, gee.
I don't need no taste.
I love how
No,
people like,
the second you said Taylor Swift, I was like,
I love how people
God.
like stop the class and be like, all right, everybody, stop your music for a second. I want you to listen to
It's
this.
something about the haters, and that was popular back then. It was about, don't hate the haters, It's like,
yeah, that's
And everybody would like boo it and put their stuff
yeah.
people.
Yeah,
So funny.
variety is the spice of life.
It is. And because I will say this though, because you gave us the freedom to listen to music, we respected you enough to stop ours to listen to what you had. Instead of just ignoring you and being like, damn it, Rex, not again. Like,
Well, sometimes I had themes going,
Yeah, that's fair.
I might have had some real reasons.
You're like, I
Other
played
than
this.
just the fun of it.
You're like, I played
mean,
this
it
for
was
the
fun,
other
though.
class. I want to play it for y'all and see how I do. They didn't like it.
Yeah.
And you played it for us, and it was the same outcome.
yeah, exactly. They didn't like it. Yeah, well, second
And then
verse,
you
same
were
as the
like-
first.
You're like, I'm gonna find somebody who likes it.
I'm not gonna. I probably gave you a few pity passes on that.
Yes.
Knowing me back then, I'd have been like, "It ain't that bad, Rex." And then other days, I'm like, "Rex, this is shit."
Yeah.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
No,
High school.
yeah, right. I
High
can't.
school drama.
Speaking of,
Some people get stuck there.
oh god,
Yeah, they don't
I forgot all
grow up.
about
They're
high
just,
school.
I hated high school.
Mm.
Ugh. I couldn't wait to get rid of that shit, so that way I could just move on past that.
yeah.
Go about being an adult. That's to me, it was a fucking bump. in the
You
road.
hated it. Yeah, you definitely
Yeah,
hated it.
I had reason to hate it though. Like whenever things became as they were, which we talked about that in other episodes of the
Yeah.
podcast. Well, I'm not going to rehash the fucking past on that one because then we'll be here for another 3.5 hours. But no, like it was a point in my life where I was like, I only hated it because of what it was that had built up to that point. And that's part of why I latched on to your class, why I enjoyed fucking Mrs. Howe, one of the creative writing teachers. Yeah, no, I loved it. Mrs. Howe. We all made the joke about Gilligan's Island about Esther and Mrs. Howe. Like, she got it constantly. It was hilarious. But like because of her, I got interested in like plays and stuff and theatrics and characters and voices for the characters because of that. Because I did it for fun anyway. But she gave me a creative outlet for that, and she enjoyed it. She also would give me composition notebooks to write in because I always would ask her for them. She had any extra ones she didn't want. Whenever I asked her for the first time I asked her, she was like, "Oh," and she bought some specifically for me.
When you got kicked out of school because he was a bad kid,
I was an angry kid who got bullied, and when I stood up for myself against the bully, they threw me out.
No, listen, but I think you came up to me, Rex, and you asked me about Tim after he got kicked out, and I think you told me that you hoped you were trying to help him in some way, and I was like, no, he loves your class.
Yeah. Oh yeah, no.
And he was worried that it didn't help you.
I hated losing your class. I hated that.
I hated, to see the misconceptions about so much about it, and I've been inspired to write a biography about my life as a starving artist. That's what the script is called. And the main part of it is me teaching in high school, but it's kind of like Pee Wee Herman's Playhouse. I took it a little step further, where the kids just couldn't wait to get in there. They enjoyed it so much.
I mean, that's fair. We showed up to your class early and wait outside the door, so I remember doing that. We'd also fight over who got to be front line.
Yeah.
No, something else about your class too that I remember is the pottery class in the room next door.
Yeah.
Y'all shared that. Y'all had that fucking door that went from that class to yours because you had the kilns in your room.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they had the spinning stuff in there.
Yeah.
But the kilns were in the back of your class, and that teacher fucking hated that. He hated.
Yeah, he used to tell us about it all the time.
Yeah. That teacher hated the fact that people enjoyed your class and not his.
Oh.
Yeah, that shit was funny as hell.
Well,
that was,
I hated the fact that so many of them were sleeping. I couldn't stand it.
You probably were.
And when I first went to OHS, I taught ceramics.
Really?
And I loved it.
I actually do enjoy it. I was good at it too, but I didn't get to do it in OHS.
Yeah.
I did it in grade school.
Yeah.
And I had a knack for it because my whole understanding of like action-reaction physics.
Yeah.
Because of that, I was really good, and the art teacher was impressed. She was like, "Oh, it's so good." And then, like, because of a fucking bubble, she was like, "Honestly, that's dumb luck right there. That was just sheer dumb luck. You got hit with a bubble at the worst possible time." And it killed it because I had it. It was going up. It was going up good. Yes. Yeah. And just because of a fucking bubble that was in there, that bubble killed it and cut it right in half.
Yeah.
So it reduced my height by. It reduced it by damn near 2/3. I was so upset. I was so angry. But no, like I didn't get to do that in high school, and I wanted to.
Yeah.
But
it's a great medium.
It is. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah. I remember you telling us when I had your class that Anita stuck you out there so she didn't have to see you.
Well, I was hired into the system.
Yeah, I remember you talking
because
about
they were starting a program of artists being teachers.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, that to me, that was very important then, I would
yes.
say. I didn't know that.
They were looking down the line at redoing the area there at OHS, for it's mostly a performing art complex, and we would get, whatever spare room we could have. The really, at least kids got some creativity in there. And a lot of times performing art kids, didn't have enough schedule to take my class, and they would tell me all the time, it's too bad.
Did you like where your classroom was located?
I did. Well, I've had several classrooms, but to have a window in a classroom is really super important. And
I loved it.
We were back there at the back part, almost, I guess you would call it the back side of OHS.
Yeah.
We're right next to the football field, and right outside our window was this rotating alarm system. And at 12 noon on Friday, I still sang that song, and that was my third near-death experience before I started teaching in public school, and that was when I invented that song for me personally, and I call it the atomic alarm. And I would sing that. I started doing that when kids weren't there, but then everybody just joined in, so we just might say, I mean, you couldn't do anything but hear it anyway, so we just...
Do you remember the song?
Yeah.
You want to sing it?
You haven't got enough space in here to do that. Yeah.
No, you're good.
Look
I mean,
at
look at them fucking bars,
It's off
man.
the bars.
It's like a goddamn elk. You sound like a fucking... You literally sound like an elk.
It is kind of an elk mating call. It's in that same kind of...
You go out in the woods, you don't know how it works.
There's parts that are unheard by humans.
Rocky and Bullwinkle will show up real quick.
Jesus.
Oh my god.
I always hated the walk from the door to your classroom because you'd be outside,
Oh.
and when it's cold,
Oh.
that's the worst.
Oh, yeah, you could cut through other ways.
Oh god.
But I always heard that you left that door unlocked though, because you just never knew when someone was going to come in, and you didn't want anybody standing outside.
Well, up until we had a policy of defensive stance where everything was seconds from lockdown.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
that was a glimpse of the latter days reality.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty fair. Because it keeps popping in my head and I keep forgetting. I wanted to bring up the fact that Anita got so, and I love calling her Anita, by the way, and talking about this. She got so fucking upset whenever a student would call you Rex and not Mr. Robinson. And you were like, oh,
Most of them called me Mr. Rex, and I did enjoy that.
Yeah, no, like that made more sense to me though than just calling you Mr. Robinson.
Yes.
Like that didn't feel right. It didn't feel like you.
Yeah.
Like reducing you to just Mr. Robinson as a
Yes.
teacher, it removed that personality from you. It removed Rex from the
Yes.
equation, and I didn't like that.
Right.
I hated that. And I was also like, I mean, he treats us cool. He don't care. Why the fuck does she care?
Yeah.
Like we got so upset. That
couldn't.
entire class, we got so upset whenever she started to do that.
Yes.
She would
Well,
she would jump
appreciate
all
Yeah,
that.
she did.
That's
Yeah.
so
Yeah, in our
cool.
class.
No, like
Yes.
yeah, like as a
Yeah.
unit, we hated that woman.
Wow.
Like as a group, we didn't. No one liked
Yeah.
her.
No.
And no one liked whenever she would come into class and give you grief and make sure you were doing things by the book and all that
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah.
And like, what'd you teach today? Like you said, like yeah,
Right.
She would
She'd
do
interview students all the time.
no.
Almost every day. It was, and in the script, I got George Clooney,
Yeah.
being the principal,
Yeah.
where he's all dressed perfectly, and he hates to be in a room with paint, but he's on an evil agenda.
Well, that's what she was on. She was definitely on that. I don't think George Clooney deserves to go through that and have to be that woman. Or
Well,
be a
like I say,
representation.
it was fueled by fear, I would say.
Mhm.
I have forgiven her, and it
I'm glad you
took
did.
me a while,
Glad someone forgave her.
but you gotta go back through your life and make amends, or
You
You
carry that negative with you, and why should you have to do that?
I've had to do it some of mine. It's tough, but it's something you have to do.
Yes.
So that's part of why I enjoy that. There are only a few people that I know of in existence right now that I'm just like, I forgave you and you burned me.
Yeah.
You found a way to burn me after I forgave you.
Yes.
For everything you did before. So you're lucky that you're breathing right now.
You're not
Because I am
breathing.
not a bad shot. I'm just saying. I'm not a bad shot at all.
Myself, yes.
I'm a damn good
You get a
shot.
Flashback real quick and I had to bring you
No,
back.
I'm not. It's not. Trust me. It's not a flashback. It's a flash forward.
So I'll bring you back from your
That's a possible timeline path we could hit. That's a reality that could exist if only they press the right button.
Yeah.
But no, like it's one of those things where like it's good to forgive people, but some people you forgive and it's not do not forget what the hell it is you're forgiving them for.
Yeah.
But understand that if you forgive them for one thing, they will find a way, the right person or the wrong person, I guess.
Yes.
But they will find a way to burn you a different way.
Yeah.
And then you'll have to forgive them again,
Yes.
and you'll have to do it again and again
Right.
and again. And that takes
Yes.
a lot of fucking strength.
Right.
And I have pushed that shit to the limit for me
Yeah.
And it's something to where if I'm going to do that again, like I don't hold anything. I might drag Anita, but I'm doing it.
You're definitely dragging.
I'm doing it to make. It's not hard to drag her.
Right
She's
behind
4
the
foot nothing. She doesn't fall down. She just changes angles. That's all that
Be
happens.
nice to the little people.
Yeah.
Oh, little people are fun. This bitch does. But no, like I don't hate the woman. I don't at all. I hold nothing against her.
That's
She was a
good.
principal.
That's-
Why should I fucking care? I'm having this. This is fun for me. That's all this is. Like I'm doing
Okay.
this for shits and giggles because if I don't, then I'm gonna giggle and shit. It's gonna be bad. So if I hold it in and don't let it out, then what's the point? It's gonna blow back on me.
Let me say
But
this.
I think it's funny. I don't give a damn. Fuck that. I don't care.
You are really killer.
It's too late. I'm dancing on the grave at this
Is
point.
there anything that you'd want to talk about? I mean, anything that you want
Yeah,
to put out
like-
there?
I don't know.
This is about
Any funny
this is-
stories?
It's been
Anything.
so.
anything.
It's been such a delight to go back. I would like to have more discussions with students. We need to get
I would
a
love
rally
that.
of students together.
I would love that.
And just kind
Even
of
better if we could do it at the spot and have
Yeah.
Anita show up because she goes
Yeah.
there now and again.
and
So-
Calm down.
and all
Hey,
work.
look, I think it's funny.
We should all work on a painting or something.
Oh, yeah,
that
no,
would
I
be so
would
much
love
fun.
I've
Yeah,
actually got an idea for that. Actually,
Yeah.
I have a really good idea for that.
I got mine up too.
Based on that,
Huh.
you know how we talked about the mural downtown?
yeah. On Second and Frederica.
Yes, on
Yeah.
Second and Frederica.
Painted 25
a
years
mural.
ago.
That's a long fucking time.
This
ago.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. This spring. Wow. Okay. Well, the
That's
city
right.
the city's let that go down. So.
Well,
And
I
wanna
did it
fix
first time
that.
for free, and I did go to City Hall twice. I got a little model there of I've actually had dreams of the mural is a timeline of America from the Western Kentucky viewpoint. So you're seeing international and different figures and places and things about Owensboro that are unique to our place in the universe and have been important to the whole world. So there's I enjoy history, and I'm not as involved in man history now, but I would love to see that repainted because I redesigned it into a more easily understandable timeline. It's more obvious.
Yeah.
So, and then I included things of downtown. That would make a great community project.
I'm just getting hit with ideas constantly now. Well, here's why I brought that up is because, and you mentioned getting students together and us all painting.
Yeah.
Is imagine if we could, and this would be like a year-long campaign to set up beforehand to get people set for an ideal date to do this, because this is
Or
it would be that
series of them.
it would be that it would be that big though. It would be
Yeah.
that big of an event to where I want to get it out there. I want to throw this back in the city's face. I
Yeah.
want them to let you paint it. I want them to commission you to repaint it and to update it based
That'd
on
be
your
wonderful.
design.
Yes.
I want to get out there. I want a campaign to be done to where if you were a student of Rex Robinson and you genuinely love art and you loved his art and you loved his class, then I want you involved. Or
Yeah.
you come down and volunteer.
Could be every Friday after 5 before 5.
Well, not just like,
I'll
I'm
like-
not
I'll
saying
like-
just
We can
students.
all
Also,
just
like,
come down there and
have
paint.
them
Yeah.
anyone that's been moved by you and your art.
Yeah.
Have them come down and volunteer to assist repainting that mural because we
Yeah.
all saw it as kids. Every
Yeah.
one of us fucking
Yeah.
saw it.
Wow.
So we all want to see it redone. I guarantee you, most people
Wow.
don't think about it.
That's
So if they
amazing.
saw it,
Yeah.
they would be
Cool.
upset that it had fallen into such disrepair.
Yeah.
They would want to help.
Yeah.
And especially if they had been moved by you and your art. They'll want to help. Have them to where they can volunteer, come down, and somewhere in the art, they can hide their signature, their artistic signature,
Yeah.
where they help and contribute
Yeah.
based on your design. And I think that would be something
That's
that
cool.
you would see a hell of a turnout for that.
Yeah.
And if nothing else,
Yeah.
Rex, you get commissioned to do it. and you're not
Yeah.
alone. You're
Yeah.
going to have some help.
Right.
Because I don't give a damn what I'm doing or where
Yes.
I'm at. I'm obviously going to be somewhere nearby enough where I can show up with a paintbrush.
Right.
So, there's going to be that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
But-
can't just like pinpoint his students because there's a lot of people like adult-wise that also know.
When I painted before, I
So,
had
actually,
50
that-
people
you bring up a
actually
good
paint
point.
from the community. They would just stop and say, can I paint? And,
Nice.
I've done over 100 murals, mostly in schools and even in kindergarten.
Oh, damn right now.
They can do great if they've got a direction. The hard thing about kindergarten is to get them to stop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, to get the brush back out of their hand
Mhm.
into
Yeah.
somebody else's, you know.
Well, as a full-grown man, let me go ahead and say, once I get started, I agree. It's a pain in the ass to get back from it.
Yeah.
You have to fight
It
your
takes a
teeth.
while to warm up into it, and then once you
Yeah.
go,
Once you're
it's like
going,
you don't want
yeah.
to stop, and that's the timeless quality.
Once you roll the ball down the hill, then
Yeah.
good luck stopping that fucking thing.
Yes.
I mean,
But
there's
it's,
also
you know.
people out there who wasn't your student,
Mm-hmm.
but went to a different school and
Yes.
still know who you are.
Huh.
Well, you bring up adults and stuff being,
Yeah.
being involved in art and stuff like that. That actually brings up, I wanted to give her a shout out anyway during this, but you know how I make jewelry, right, Rex?
Yeah.
Okay. The person who buys my jewelry the most, her name's Misty. She gets a shout out. She says she's my walking shop
All right.
because she loves my jewelry because it's unique in the sense that it's not this cookie cutter bullshit.
Yeah.
It stands out.
Yes.
It's different. It gives you this feeling of something else. She said that she feels enchanting. She feels special when she wears my jewelry, and it makes a huge difference.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, that's good because that's what I want. I want you to feel like you yourself are this special thing, this special person.
Right.
That you are special, and that's what I was like. Make sure, like understand that it might look the same with something else that I make.
Yes.
Like I might make the exact same set, but it's not going to be exactly the same.
Yeah.
It'll be slightly different. There might be more links or less links. There might be a different angle.
Yeah.
Something slightly different. But what you have is unique. It is its own piece of work.
Original.
And she loves that. And she also knows about you because her oldest son had you as a teacher.
Wow.
And loved your class. And you also did something for Autism Awareness a few years back. You had this big thing you were a part of some years ago. And that was important to her. She loves you.
Oh,
So
well, bring her by.
So I can't do that. She's got dark colored hair.
So she doesn't have dark.
She has dark colored hair.
Well, that's
I can't bring her by because she won't let her leave.
that's
Rex.
my spiritual bride. She has dark hair.
Okay, well,
Yes.
she might be the one, but
She might be.
if I come over and she's in the basement and
Great
you're up
name.
there cooking her food,
Well,
she better be strapped.
Yes.
She better be strapped in chains for a different reason than
Yeah.
not being able to leave. I'm going to say.
Yeah.
No.
Talking with y'all today has raised up as I'm trying to explain. Everyone is a great teacher if they sincerely love somebody and want to share something with them that they want them to have. Well, before I started teaching, I had 2 children born that died at birth.
Oh, wow.
So, that created a great hole inside of me that when I walked into teaching and I saw how disturbed and limited and
restricted we all were.
yeah, and innocent and confused. So many negative things that the students were carrying around. It was like, wow, it wasn't hard for me to love them through that, because I'd been there too, for one thing, but, to just, middle school, I did a year and a half there, and it was middle school hell, but it did teach me so much. It's such a confusing time for kids. Well, high school brains are not developed fully yet either. There's still an awful lot going on, but they're making that transition into adulthood, which is overwhelming.
Yeah, it's intimidating. It's confusing as all fuck. I mean,
when the adult world doesn't even act like adults.
Yeah, no.
Do you remember, Rex, when I sent you an email and I was apologizing for my attitude in your class?
Wow,
Do you remember
that was rare. I probably framed that.
Did you?
I had.
Did you?
I'm gonna tell you, I've had to move so many times. Part of the stress and the reason that I quit in 15 teaching in public school was that I spent a week in the hospital struggling to live. All my organs had shut down. It was simply because of stress.
We'll do it. We'll fucking do it.
you know, I thought, I'm a man, I can take it, I can handle this, but it was coming at me from every direction. So, you know, it took me a long time to recover, but I actually feel younger now than I do even
You mentioned that
years before that.
You mentioned that in your episode with Stranger. You said that you were mentally aging backwards. Like you were younger.
I don't know about mentally.
Well, that's
you know, I just feel better.
You did say that.
Yes.
You did say that you were aging backwards. That mentally you felt like you were aging backwards.
Yeah.
And that you had gone from this, you know, this forcibly mature dark shit, you know, and then you are more. What is it? You're more alive and vibrant now than you were years ago.
Right.
And it's a huge fucking difference. It's a huge change.
That's a benefit of art.
I mean,
You know, to draw a tree, you have to really see the tree. You have to really look at it. So, you know, most people just don't look at life. They don't appreciate it. So being an art student helps you to appreciate life because art reflects life.
I agree.
I definitely agree with that. That's 100%. That's gospel. Well, let's see. I don't mean to kill the boner here, but it's an hour and 15 minutes into this.
Yeah, I got it.
So, and she's got dogs with puppies.
I got 4 dogs.
There we go.
Yeah, she's got 4 dogs and 4 puppies.
Yeah.
And I haven't eaten in hours.
Same.
See how we suffer for our the other ones.
Right? Yeah, no.
I mean, if I'm actually
this
painting,
is itself. Yeah.
if I'm actually painting, I won't even remember to eat anything.
Yeah.
Because I'll be so into it.
I mean, to be fair, I don't forget to eat. I'm just too damn busy to eat. I'm like, oh man, food would be good, but fuck it. And that's usually how that goes.
I have to remember I won't do it.
We're an hour and going on 16 minutes into this, so we need to wrap it up. Any final thoughts you can condense into about 2 minutes?
Wow.
Like, did you enjoy this, or you have a message?
I did enjoy it. It's you know, it's like they've been telling me that if you would hug for 20 seconds, you'll have a whole different effect from that hug.
Yeah.
Well, you know, we're so messed up. I've tried to do that with some people, and they're it's awkward. You know, it's so awkward.
It's, you know, just you talking about it makes me cringe a little bit. I'm like, I don't like anyone enough.
20 seconds is a long time.
It's a long time whenever, you know, your mind is your life is constantly go. 20 seconds is a long fucking time.
It's a great challenge, but
that's a hell of a wall.
But you know, find somebody you really love and just hold them for 20 seconds. And see the difference that makes.
Hold on and then choke them.
You may want to choke them.
By the end of it, you might. You
Yes.
never know.
Yeah.
If you hug them hard enough, you'll squeeze up hard out. You'll really want to choke
okay.
them then. But no, like it's one of those things where, you know, that's that wall people put up.
Yeah.
It's hard to overcome that sometimes. In certain ways.
Right.
In other ways, you'll fly right through it like it's paper mache. In other ways, it's made of steel.
Yeah.
And unless you're a white hot burn, then you're not going to go through it. Yeah. But. No.
So this is better than a hug. I appreciate you doing it.
Well, I'm glad.
Appreciate your encouragement and.
I'm glad.
You know,
Yeah, I was gonna say, how's it feel to be interviewed by 2 students?
Yeah, by
That's amazing.
Yeah.
No, that's the way it should be.
I mean, I'm glad that I get to, and I have, like I said, like maybe 2 or 3 people who will actually listen to this immediately. And it's one of those things, though, that in the future, at some point down the line, I can come back to this, and I'll want
There's a lot of programs in this.
Well, there's a lot going on in this, but like I'll want to come back to this subject of shared history and stories and experiences together, and how like you as one person inspired thousands of people.
Wow.
In one way or another, you changed thousands of lives.
Yeah.
And that's just on a teaching basis alone,
yes.
not everything else either.
Yes.
Like, and those thousands of people,
yeah.
they'll go on to affect thousands and thousands of others, in and of them just by themselves. So,
yes.
And because of the creative freedom that you allowed me to have in the back of class, whenever I ignored you, but because you let me have that freedom that I wanted, I wanted it, you let me have it.
Wow.
And because of that, that changed my whole, that changed the whole course of what was left of my life.
Yes.
Because everything from that point or up to that point that I had tried to do,
Yes.
or that was offered me that I wanted to do, had been denied me by the most controlling aspect of my life.
Wow.
By an authority figure that I was told to respect and love no matter what.
Yes.
She fucking failed me as that authority figure.
Yes.
And as an authority figure who I was told to respect, whether I respected you or not, and you didn't care about that, you were just there teaching, you wanted to either learn something or enjoy something or do something to create something.
Yeah.
And then you let me create, and that fucking
I think I know what
changed
you
the
were
whole
talking
course.
about.
You know exactly what I'm talking about. Because we spent a whole episode talking about that day.
She looked at me and she told me just blankly, you'll never be a artist or anything like that because your work just basically sucks. And
Freeze my ass off. Go ahead.
yeah, I mean that's basically what she told me. She said you'll never go anywhere as an artist.
But I don't know.
The door might have been.
I mean,
But you know, it's incredible. Thousands have taught us.
mm-hmm.
So you know, if we can turn that, around, and maybe you don't have a classroom or an opportunity like that, but through your work though, you do touch thousands, and through the show, you don't know if it's 3 or 4 people or 3 or 4,000. So
Yeah,
it can go back to.
It could be one of those things where I want to come back to this, or I might mention it in passing later on down the line, and then people will be like, oh, that happened? Okay, cool. And they'll go back and they'll search the back catalog and they'll find that. And then that will show them something they wouldn't have gotten otherwise.
Right.
And that will then affect them, so on and so forth, ripple, domino effect, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
And that will, in and of itself, little things like that can in and of themselves change the world. And we diminish them to just the basic form of whatever, and then we forget about them because life is bullshit, and we let that bury us, and we forget about those little moments where things could have been so much different, so much better. And that's one of the things that I enjoyed about your classes. Those little moments, they still stuck. They stuck like the acrylic paint that I threw at the fucking canvas. I love that shit. It was great.
Yeah.
But no, and that actually means a lot to me that you said that it was better than a hug. Like getting to do this meant a lot to you, and that it did something for you.
Yeah.
Which to me it did for me as well. And I don't know if it did you, Faye. You've been said you got the willies to paint while you were here doing the tour.
yeah,
so,
definitely.
So and I got to
Hope that's contagious.
Yeah, I mean the desire to paint and create. Yeah.
Yes.
And which I can't wait to go to the spot and bug them and do some paint there. My voice has dropped a few decibels, or a few octaves, whatever. So that means it's time to wrap this up. So I guess I'm going to go ahead and do that.
All right.
Rex, it has been an absolute pleasure having you on, man.
Thank you.
I definitely enjoyed this. And Fia, it was always good having you back. You're like a bad case of herpes. You keep coming back, and I appreciate it.
For a limited time only.
Yeah, for a limited time only.
Come on down to 425 West 5th Street, and let me give you a tour. And
please do.
And if you're a student or interested in repainting the mural, we should start a petition. I'm going to have it out here in the entrance in the lobby. I've got a registration, and
that would be
we'll just build it up, because the one thing that people remember from other cities is the visual impression, and a lot of that has to do with murals. There's mega murals all around us in all the cities around us, and Owensboro's just got blank walls, and that shows what's in our heart.
Now, I do have a question for you, Rex. Do you do classes here?
I do have a few students, private students. I've been wanting. I created that whole outdoor classroom, and I've got space and chairs enough to have workshops and have classes, and that would be wonderful. I would love to do that. It's scheduling. That's not. I can't do all that. And I've retreated up into my studio these last 7 years to just be frustrated in the business part of it, and just release that into my work. And that's why I have every square inch covered everywhere I can. And
you did a good job at it.
You do.
Then there's 100 more out at the Senior Community Center out in West 2nd.
Oh man, There's a lot going on here, but excuse me. Well, that's
Shirley's.
the sound that I'm hungry. Don't call me Shirley. I said that for you.
Oh, man.
That was for you, Rich. All right. But no, like it's yeah, it's one of those
Great series.
Oh my god! All right, it's one of those things where
My
like
dream.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
But no, it's one of those things where like it's art doesn't exist unless you create it. Like this is for the people out there listening. You've got to create the art for it to exist. If there's a story that you want to read and you don't see it anywhere, you've got to write it. If there's a painting you want to see and you don't see it anywhere, you've got to paint it. Like if there's a song you want to hear and you can't hear it anywhere, you've got to make it. You've got to create it. You've got to mix it. And
We all have it all in us.
yeah, exactly. It's something that everyone can do. If there's a song you want to hear sang and you don't find it, sing it. I assure you, you are better than you let yourself be. And you've got to do that. You've got to access that. Find an inspiration or just start. And you will be inspired eventually. You've got to do something though. If you want something created, sometimes you've got to create it.
Yeah.
And otherwise, if you don't, someone will make a buck off of it and screw that. Anyway.
Well, I think we're all created to be creative.
I mean,
The
yeah.
creator. So what a personal relationship that is that draws the best out of us if we just give it a chance.
Well, I look forward to getting to offer that chance to people and to help you offer people that chance.
All right.
Because I've got some irons in the fire that I want to actually talk to you about outside of recording. But that's probably a tomorrow thing. For now, we're going to go ahead and end this here. It's been an hour and 25 minutes, going on an hour and 26 minutes. And I think that's been enough time. Your dogs have to use the bathroom so bad I can feel it. And I'm fucking hungry. So,
All right.
I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. This has been a wonderful time. This has been the Roundtable with Rex. And Rex, it's been a pleasure, man. Thanks for coming.
Thank you.
Fist
Thank
bump.
you.
Fist bump. Shake hands.
Shake hands.
Shake hands. There it
Do
is.
the Indian hands.
You can't take me, Rex. You can't take me. I feel bad now.
Okay. That hurt.
That's like a good arm wrestle. All right. You ain't got arm wrestle.
I
You
could
can
probably beat Felicia.
God.
just say that. I'll
You can use both hands. It's okay.
We're not doing that. All right, that's enough. But no, Fee, thanks for coming on.
Yeah.
Definitely appreciate it. As a former student of Rex, I've enjoyed hearing you talk about it. I'd like to hear some more stories if you have any that pop up. We'll save those for a round two. I'd love to do a follow up on this.
Yeah.
And see what we can talk about as far as like where to go in the future.
All right.
Because we've talked about the past, next comes the future.
Yeah.
Because we are constantly in the present. So let's see what we can do with that. But it's been wonderful having y'all on. And to Mr. Stranger, thanks for popping up when you did. Mr. Birch, you better be listening. Because I love you too. I need to have you back on my show.
Misty.
And Misty, thanks for being awesome. Misty, love you. Yeah, that's.
He's already thinking about it.
You need to calm down,
Did you hear
sir.
what he said? He said,
No.
Misty for me.
Yeah.
That's it. Well, that was a Clint Eastwood movie. Play Misty for me. It was a very intriguing.
I bet.
He wants
Well,
to be a Clint Eastwood.
that's enough. All right. So, if you've enjoyed any of this and you would like to support my work and allow me to do this for more in the future, then, or to help me do this more in the future, then you can do so via Cash App. Hashtag discount Walter White, all one word. I do accept Bitcoin, so you can toss a coin to your Walter. We'll keep this song and dance going. And look forward to anything in the future involving Rex. Anything that we do as far as like, since you wanted me to be your marketing coordinator.
Oh.
Or your marketing director.
Man needs help.
Since you asked for it, I'm on it.
Oh,
That's why I
all
say
right.
like that's why I brought up the mural, and that's why I brought up
That's what we're talking about.
that's why I brought up the spot and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You're having a wonderful time with the camera, aren't you? Sid?
Yeah,
Yeah. You know when
but I
film.
said, look for me too. I'll paint.
Yeah, no,
That's
yeah.
what
My
I
sister,
There you go.
she's got things in the spot.
Yes.
I want to get you in there as well.
Right.
I know you
Yeah,
said
like
it was a college, high school thing. It seemed
6 or
like,
7
but
things. in
I
there.
assure you.
Well, I didn't want to take space away from him.
Oh, fuck
Well,
them.
I'm 32. I'm not in college.
It's a matter of the type of art that's in there.
Yeah.
Your type of art.
I
that
did
you
some
do,
of that.
I was gonna say your type of art that you do isn't in there.
Yeah.
He needs stuff like your art. He's interested.
Yeah.
So
Cool.
I've got to have you
Okay.
message him and all that stuff. Work
All
out
right.
the logistics and all that shit. We'll do that in the future. But
Okay.
as far as like events to do in the future, we'll talk about that in the next episode that we have you on for. Like I said, I want to do a future-based episode.
Right.
Where do we go from here, sort of thing.
That's serious.
I want to do that. I like having,
Yeah.
I like having recurring people. I like
Yeah.
having back on.
Real artists work in
And-
series. I was always told that.
I mean, that's fair. I wanted to write book series. I wanted to create art. But actually, that's something else. The way that I want to practice my galaxy that I want to paint,
Ooh.
it'll be a series of things. It'll be a series of different things to get to the point of the galaxy. So I call it the creative process, but that's for the future. And for now, we're going to go ahead and end this here. Like I said, support via Cash App, hashtag discount Walter White, all one word. Anything at all that you send will go straight back into this and being able to do this full time. I would love to be able to. I'd love to get to travel a bit, get to report on things, get to interview all kinds of interesting people because every person is a story and I want to hear them told. So, that's part of why I do this, part of why I enjoyed having y'all on. And I look forward to seeing where this goes. So thank y'all for listening. We're going to end this on a song. And it kind of fits with, Spotify gets the song. YouTube, I'm sorry about your luck, bud. You'll
I
have to
thought we
go
were
and
going to have
search
a
this
sing
one.
along.
No, but
Oh, I'm not
it's
singing.
I love you. I can't do
it.
it, actually. We're going to hit with a copyright on YouTube. No, for real though, we're going to end this with a song, and it's, I feel like it fits the theme of my show going forward because for 2022, I wanted to mix it up, and I want to make more fun of more things. I want to laugh more. Things are too damn serious and dark. Everything I did before 2022, serious, dark, barely funny.
Yeah.
And it didn't feel organic to me. It felt contrived and forced. So from here on out, I want to ask the question, what's funny? So Bo Burnham's song, What's Funny, is what you're going to hear on Spotify next. I hope you've enjoyed this. You can support me. You've heard it. Go back if you need to hear it again. Love you guys. Rex, Fee, thanks for having y'all on.
Yeah.
Thanks for being on. Love y'all.
Thanks for having me.
I'm fucking happy. I know I verbally fucked that up, but thanks for coming on. Thanks for having y'all on. I'm tired, I'm hungry, and I'm ready to go home cold.
Yeah, me too.
So, but anyway, thanks for coming on though, for real.
All right.
Thanks for being a part of this and for giving us the tour on the live stream. That was fucking great. Loved it. But I look forward to seeing where this goes in the future. For now, you guys, I wanted to know what's funny.